Hi everybody, Andrew here. Welcome back to the RLD video tutorial series. In this video, I've decided to show you how you can use the plugin to build a simple dungeon environment, right? So I'm not gonna build like a complex thing. I'm gonna build like a really simple environment, just enough for me to show you how the plugin can be used for this purpose. And it's important for you to know how to use this plugin because ultimately you are going to use it to build like probably a level editor or a modding tool or something like that. So it's important that you understand how the plugin can be used so that you can actually document these features yourselves for the tool that you're working on. All right. Now there are 3 videos that I recommend that you watch before watching this one. I've left links in the video description. It's basically the video in which I talk about the runtime prefab picker, the object extrude gizmo, and object-to-object snapping. Now, even if you don't watch these videos, I'm still gonna be, explaining stuff as I go along. Probably not in as much detail, but still, I think you're gonna do just fine. So I'm going to be using some models from a pack called Multi-Story Dungeons from Mana Station, which is in all honesty amazing, and I recommend that you go check it out. I also left a link in the video description. So that being said, let's actually start. I'm gonna go to a prefab library called Base, which contains some floor prefabs that I'm going to use. So I'm going to click on this object right here. That will create an object right in front of the camera. And what I need to do is, it's currently sitting below the grid, so I need to bring it at the same level. I need to make it sit on the grid. So I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to hold down the B key, which is going to activate selection grid snap. Yeah. If you've used vertex snapping inside the Unity editor, it pretty much works in the same way, but in this case it doesn't work with vertices. It works directly with the object volume corners, the corners of the box that surrounds the object. So I'm going to select a snap point, and then I'm going to left click and just drag the mouse to snap this to the grid. I'm going to place it right here. Right? Now I need to expand the floor. Yeah. So starting with this object, we actually create like a rectangular grid. So I'm going to press Q to activate the object extrude gizmo, and then I'm going to click and drag the red handle to extrude like this. There we go. Now right now I'm going to select all of these, and then I'm going to extrude along the z-axis. There you go. And now I'm going to select the corners and click and drag the green handle to extrude upwards. Yeah, so these can act like a bunch of towers, for example. Now I'm not a really good level designer, so I don't really like, I can create level design tools and stuff like that, but I do not have the artistic touch that is required to actually build game levels. So I'm only trying to just, the purpose of the video is just show you how to use the plugin. And then you can use that knowledge to create something amazing, of course. Okay, now let's just select these 2 and quickly focus the camera in that area. Hold down Alt and the right mouse button and move the mouse to orbit. And now I'm just gonna take care of this area right here. I want to place a bunch of railing objects at the edge of these of the floor. So I'm gonna switch to my railing prefab library. I'm gonna click on this object right here, and I want to snap it right here in this corner. I'm gonna select it, and then I'm gonna press the S key. This will enter object to object snap mode, and I can just snap it right here. Right now, let's assume that you wanted this object to sit like exactly on the edge of the floor. You can see that it doesn't do that, right? The reasons behind this are a little bit more complicated to explain, but what happens is that when something like this, when you feel like it doesn't snap where it's supposed to, then you can hold down the Shift key, and that will give you a little bit more control. It will still snap object to object, but it will give you a little bit more control. Okay, so now we can make it sit at the edge right there. Now I'm going to press W to activate the move gizmo, and I'm actually going to move this backwards a little bit. Looking at the demo scenes that come with this pack, I've realized that this is actually how these models are supposed to be used. And I'm gonna press the Q key to activate the extrude gizmo, and then just click and drag, and there you go. Yeah. And now I'm gonna press a pillar in these spots right here. So I'm gonna click on this guy. I'm gonna select it, and I'm gonna press S to enter object-to-object snapping. And in this situation, object-to-object snapping alone will not help us. However, when object-to-object snapping is active, you can hold down the Control key, and that will enter a so-called flexi mode, right? So in flexi mode, it will no longer snap object to object. It will basically just snap to the surface on which, which is hovered by mouse cursor, and that will allow me to just place this object right here. There you go. Now I'm gonna press W to activate the move gizmo, hold down Control to activate snapping, and then drag. First I'm gonna press Control D to duplicate, then hold down Control and drag to place this here, then Control D again and again, and there you go. You already have this side taken care of. Now let's actually create a bridge between these two towers. I'm gonna select this tower right here, press Q to activate the object extrude gizmo, and then just click and drag, and there you go. I'm gonna extrude downwards like this. Now I'm gonna press. I'm gonna create. I'm gonna place a different object here in this area. I'm actually gonna delete that. Okay, and I'm gonna go to base, and I'm gonna use this arch, and then press S for object-to-object snapping, and there you go. Right. And now let's start decorating these walls a little bit. So I'm gonna go to parts. And click on this guy right here, wall bottom decor 01, right? Press S for object-to-object snapping. There you go. Control D to duplicate, S, Control D, S, Control D, S, Control D, S, and then finally just click and drag to extrude. There you go. So if you've watched the presentation video, you probably noticed this is starting to look a lot like the environment that I built inside the presentation video, and yeah, that's actually true. Yeah, because as I said before, I lack imagination when it comes to this sort of stuff. So when I came up with that environment, and yeah, I'm gonna just stick to it. Okay. Now let's place some particle systems. Have some nice effects in our scene here. I have this VFX library, and I'm gonna use this one because I really like the way it looks. And I just want to show you something. So if so let's say I have an object selected, and I'm using the extrude gizmo. Now the thing is, the extrude gizmo works with meshes and sprites. But if I were to select a light object, for example, I just clicked on the light icon right there. You can see the gizmo disappears. This is because it cannot be used with lights or particle systems. So I'm gonna have to switch to the move gizmo by pressing W, and there you go. And now I can just put this right here. Yeah, so this could be like a player spawn point, or it could be just be where the player exits the game level or stuff like that. And it looks really, really nice. Okay, and let's place some columns here at the corner. Column 03. Select it, press S to object snap, and then just put it right over here. Press Control D to duplicate, then hold down Control and drag, and there you go. And now I'm gonna press Control D again to duplicate both of these. Press S to object snap, and I believe, okay, there you go. Very nice. Now let's place some props. Let's see. Well, we can place some barrels. Yeah. So in order to place props in an environment like a dungeon, for example, hold down. So you have to enter object-to-object snap mode. Then hold down the Control key to enter the flexi mode, and then you can just move the mouse to place the object where it needs to be. Now there is also another way to do this. It's called surface snapping or selection grab. It's more useful when working with terrain environments, yes, when placing objects on a terrain, but also works on meshes. So if you press the C key, you will enter surface snap mode, and then you can hold down the Shift key and move the mouse to rotate, Control to scale the object like this, Q to offset the object from the surface, and so on. But I actually have a separate video which talks about, in which I talk about surface snapping, so I'm not going to cover it here. I'm going to left click to exit surface snap mode and just use object to object snapping with flexi mode enabled by holding down the control key. There you go. Let's place another set of barrels. Again, object to object snap, control, place this right over here, and then what else? Bunch of jugs here. Put them right over here, and then let's also have a candlestick. Again, object to object snap and control, and there you go. Yeah, and we could go ahead and do the same in this area, but it's pretty much the same thing, so we're not gonna do that. What I want to do now is I want to build a wall. I want to wall off this section and this one right here. So let me go to my walls prefab library. I'm gonna select this one. You can see that it's not properly rotated, so I need to rotate it first. When you have a bunch of objects selected, you can press the Y key to select to rotate around the Y axis, Z to rotate around the Z axis, and X around the X axis, right? Okay, I'm gonna press S to enter object to object snap mode, and let's see. I'm gonna hold down Shift to get more control, and there you go. Okay. Select, then press Q to enable the object extrude gizmo, and there you go. Now let's wall off this section here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 objects, so we're gonna select 5 of these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Control D, S to object snap, Y to rotate, and then just snap. There you go. Okay. Good. Now let's place a pit. I'm gonna place it right here. So I'm gonna select this object and I'm gonna press delete to delete it. And then I'm gonna go to base pit, and I'm gonna press the W key to, sorry about that, I'm gonna press the W key so that I can activate the move gizmo, and then hold down V to vertex snap, and then left click and drag to snap this in the correct position. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to create an arch rectangle in this area right here. So I'm going to go to arches, and I have this arch alley corner prefab. I'm going to press S, snap it right here, and then I'm going to create this object. I'm going to spawn this object, press S, press Y to rotate, and there you go. Okay, now I'm going to activate the object extrude gizmo by pressing Q, and I'm going to extrude, duplicate the corner, move it in the correct spot, like right here. Okay, duplicate this one, snap, duplicate, rotate, snap. Duplicate, rotate, snap is a really powerful combination. So there you go. We're gonna duplicate all these guys, then snap them right over there. Okay. There you go. Yeah. So we already have an arch. And let's also just place a bunch of stuff here. I'm gonna go to my stairs category, and I'm gonna use this one right here. Press S to object snap, then Y to rotate, then Control D to duplicate, S, Y, and snap. There you go. And columns, I think we can go with this one, S, Control to enter flexi mode, and just press place it right there. And let's have like a treasure chest sit on top of that. Where is, okay, props, treasure chest, S, Control, left click to exit, and there you go, right? And of course we could just go on and place, we could just populate this entire area with you know, props of different kinds. For example, we could decide to add some damaged parts here, like something like this, for example, right? And the area look a little bit more interesting. But I'm not gonna do that now because of course I pretty much shown you how to place props. I just want to go I just want to take care of the upper area, and then finally, after we build some more stuff here in this upper area, then we're gonna use stairs to create a connection between between these two levels. Okay, so let's see, what am I gonna do here? I'm just gonna extrude these two guys, and then I'm gonna go to connectors, right? And I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna press S to object snap and just put it right here, and then I'm gonna use this one, S, object to object snap. There you go, right? And now I want to fill this entire area with these guys, so I can just select this one, and these two floor objects. I have my extrude gizmo active, so I can just click and drag, and there you go, right? Let's wall this off here. Okay, gonna select this one and the decoration, there you go. And I'm gonna go to base, and I'm gonna need this arch, and it's going to sit right here. I think, yeah. Okay, now we need to place a door object, so I'm gonna go to my doors library and select this one. Okay, and press so I've pressed S to activate object to object snapping, and now I'm gonna hold down the control key to just enter flexi mode and just make sure that this sits in the right place. Let's see, yep, that looks really nice. Now let's place some torches on inside these arches right here. So I'm gonna go to props, torch 01, let's use this one. Okay, let's just zoom in a little bit, press S and control, and just make sure that it sits in the center. And now, in order to ensure that all the other torches are gonna sit in the center, we can switch to the move gizmo, press Ctrl D to duplicate, then hold down Ctrl to snap. And because we're snapping, it will snap in the same, like it will sit in the same position relative to, you know, this other arch right here. So Ctrl D again, and there you go. We have some nice torches here. Let's place some props. No, actually, I'm gonna switch to presets right here, and yeah, S, Control. Now we can just populate this area. Yeah, so I'm not gonna. No, actually, we need to put it right here, and we can just place some tables here if we want to. Something like this, yeah, and we could just go on and populate this entire area right here. Let's place place some railing objects going this direction, and here, as you'll see, object to object snapping will not be very useful to us. Okay, let's place this one right here. No, actually, I'm going to start with a damaged one. Yeah, so I have this damaged railing object. You can see these broken pieces that are just floating in the ground, which means that they need to sit on the floor. So I'm going to press Y to rotate, and I'm going to press S to object snap, which kind of brings it in the correct position, but we need to adjust it manually. Yeah, so let's see. Well, something like this, yeah, until those broken pieces actually sit on the floor. And now let's put another one right over here. Object to object snapping will not work, so I'm gonna have to switch to the move gizmo and use vertex snapping instead. Let's see, there you go. And now I can just press Q and just extrude this. There you go. And if I wanted to have like another broken piece somewhere around here, for example there, I could, let's see, we've used that one, let's use this one now. Does it work with object-to-object snapping? No, it doesn't really. So I'm gonna have to again resort to vertex snapping. There you go. Okay, I'm gonna select no, I'm gonna create some pillars here. Press S and Ctrl to enter flexi mode, and now duplicate and then snap in the correct position. Yeah, that looks really nice actually. Let's also add some more broken stuff here. I'm gonna go to columns. There you go. And just some random stuff. Okay, and what else is here? Something like this, maybe something like this. Okay, there you go. Yeah, let me just fill this area here, just close it off. Yeah, there you go. And finally, what we need to do is we need to make a connection between the first floor and the second floor, right? So that the player can actually move between these two floors. So I'm gonna switch to the stairs library right here, and I'm gonna look for this one. Press S to object snap and just put it right over here, right? Okay, now what I need to do is I need to place a floor object at the base of this, right? And I could just duplicate one of these, right? And then switch to the move gizmo and use vertex snapping to just snap this in the correct position, right? But let's do this in a different way. I'm gonna go to the base of the stairs. I'm gonna hold down the Alt key and I'm gonna double click the stairs object. As soon as I do that, the grid will move at the bottom of the stairs. If you hold down Alt and just do one single click, yeah, we did a double click, but if we do a single click, it will snap to the cursor click position. When you do a double click, it will snap either below or at the top, depending which one is closest to the mouse cursor position. Yeah, so if you click above halfway, about the midpoint of the stairs, it will snap to the bottom. It will snap to the top. If you click below the midpoint, it will snap to the bottom. There you go. Double click, and now this will also give me a chance to show you another hotkey regarding object-to-object snapping. So the grid is now where we want it to be, but see, the object is basically not. We need to place this like below the stairs, right? So I'm gonna press the N key on the keyboard, and when you press the N key during object-to-object snapping, that will basically place the objects below the snap surface. Yeah, there you go. And now we can just normally just extrude these. Yeah, if we wanted to, we could also just go in this direction over there, but we're not gonna do that. I'm gonna duplicate the stairs object. Y to rotate it. Place it over there. Now let's place another floor object. So I'm gonna hold down Alt to put the grid right at the base of the stairs, and there you go. We're still working, if you remember, we pressed the N key to place the object below the grid. Yeah, if we press N again, we can place it here, but we don't want to do that in this case. So I'm gonna press N to enable this again. Okay, and now I'm just gonna take these stairs objects and I'm gonna put them right here. Yeah, all right. So now we could just go on and just add railing objects here and here maybe, and here near the stairs, for example. We could go to stairs and no, not stairs, actually railing. Okay, and just use, for example, these guys to place them here. Now they're not going to work with object-to-object snapping because object-to-object snapping was not designed for something like this. So you're going to have to just use the move gizmo to position these correctly. Yeah, so something like this, I suppose. Yeah. Well, okay, that's pretty much everything that I wanted to show you. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.